You got
Awesome.
it?
Sweet. Technology. My name is Demetrius, and I'm an addict.
Hi, Demetrius.
Outstanding. It's good. It's good to see all of you. It's good to be here. I feel very blessed, very honored that my God, my higher power, has provided this avenue for me to speak and to share my hope, my strength, and the success of Narcotics Anonymous and what it has brought to me. I just got out of prison after doing 34 and a half years of time for my crime. May 8th was my release date. And so everything is new to me, and you know, the Zoom meetings and COVID, you know, I got released during COVID. And so, you know, I haven't been to a meeting where, you know, where all the hugs and the greets are there, you know. Instead of my meetings are with the Zoom, of course, and you know, it's like the Brady Bunch, seeing the whole Brady Bunch pictures and stuff, you know. And but to me it's awesome, you know. I love it personally. I love it. I enjoy it, you know. It's what's you know, what's different to you is new to me. So I'm glad to be here. Like Jesse, like David said, and so many others that are attending this meeting, Tony D, Jesse, a lot of you guys I met in Soledad doing H&I work. You know, some of the things that you guys said at the meetings and in Soledad always really helped me, because you speak their truth, and you find that it's real easy for a guy to receive when someone is speaking the truth, what it is that they're saying. And a lot of times I found that when they're speaking their truth about their recovery and the success, you know, it's something that's relatable, but not so much that, as much as it is that they're not trying to, you know, impress. You know, it's not like they're trying to win a popularity contest. It's just they're getting up there and they're giving their spill about what they've been through, and how they you know, gained success through Narcotics Anonymous, what Narcotics Anonymous has done for them, and living the miracle of recovery and being clean. It's just, you know, it's real open. So the meetings at Soledad were packed, you know. So we have like anywhere from 150 to 200 people in a gymnasium in prison, listening to guys that would come in, and Tony D would come in and introduce me to them, and I would introduce them to the inmates there. And it's just, you know, great meetings, man, and speaking the hope of recovery, success. And so for me, I went into prison in 1985. I went into prison in 1985, and my drug of choice was PCP. So I was one of those guys who really just lived to use, because I couldn't cope with life in itself. I had a very hard time. I had a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, a lot of hate, a lot of animosity, a lot of prejudice, and just so many things. But see, those things that I've just identified, I wouldn't have been able to identify those things without working them with a sponsor through Narcotics Anonymous, to look at my character defects and to really examine the recesses of my heart and my stinking thinking, my diseased thinking. And so Narcotics Anonymous really helped me in discovering those things and discovering who I am and the making of the criminal that I was. And so having a sponsor, you know, I get to sit in my sponsor's house, and to me it's a luxurious house. You know, I feel like I'm in the house of the rich and famous, but you know, their background is amazing too. You know, from where they've been and where they're at now, you know, living the miracle. And I feel blessed. I feel very blessed. My higher power has placed me on a on an island, and it's Treasure Island in San Francisco. So, you know, I'm stuck on that. I'm on Treasure Island, you know, and you know, just living the dream, and got a job where, you know, the job just reminds me of what correctional officers used to do, you know, babysitters, you know, and they, with the walkie-talkie and doing bed checks and making sure people are all right, you know, and you know, that's all higher power for me, to bless me with a job where it's like 2 jobs because they let me do overtime, and that's lucrative too, you know, and that's all higher power. I wouldn't have been able to do those things if I was still using, you know. I'd be a curb creature, just living on the streets, living off the curb, you know. And you know, I walk around with Narcon because the people that we house in San Francisco are addicts and people just living on the streets. You know, we're taking them off the streets randomly, you know, people that are intense and come on, let's go to this hotel. And some of them are receptive to it. Some of them are receptive to it because they, you know, it's legal to give them needles. It's legal to give them the paraphernalia that they need to get high on. And I tell them, you know, this is going to increase your bed checks. This is going to increase your wellness checks. I got to check on you more now, you know. And some of them are like, you know, they're appreciative of that, you know. And I tell them, well, I'm a recovering addict, you know. So I can relate to what it is that you're going through, but I want you to know there's hope, you know. There's hope if you want it, you know. Cherish what it is that God has, this avenue that God has provided for you, in giving them a room, a hotel room, you know, with big screen TVs, and just, you know, there's luxurious hotel rooms that we're housing homeless in, you know, and I get to experience that. There are some addicts that have OD'd, and he's spraying them with Narcon. Six, you know, we just had one the other day, you know, spraying them with 6 bottles of Narcon and giving them CPR, you know, mind-blowing stuff. I wouldn't have done that stuff if it wasn't for my recovery. I wouldn't have had that opportunity to save a life, you know, but Narcotics Anonymous saved my life. And I'm grateful. I'm a grateful addict. Grateful. I'm grateful, you know, just to be here and to share the message, you know. And so one of the things that when I first got out of prison, I struggled with getting my Social Security. I struggled with getting my birth certificate and my ID, and I had people in Narcotics Anonymous help me with that, you know, to help me to get through that, you know, the stress and stuff that I was going through, and Tony D helped me, and we created a meeting, a Freebird meeting, because that was one of the things that I put on my Facebook, was that I was a free bird. And so he created a Freebird meeting, and awesome stuff, man. So they have Freebird meetings through Narcotics Anonymous on Mondays and Fridays, and created a line for guys that are just getting out of prison from doing a lengthy time of incarceration. So we call that Solutions to Understanding Freedom, and created a line for them to be able to call and to get information, you know. And that's all through H&I. That's all through, you know, just meeting people through Narcotics Anonymous, and people that are just willing to serve and to give back what it is that we've received. You know, I've received life through this. I've received a way out, you know. I remember when I first started getting into my recovery, which was in '98. You know, I wanted to change, but I didn't really know how. I didn't really know what I needed to do. You know, so I was ambivalent. I was still stuck in the drugs, but wanting to get out. You know, I was sick and tired of sitting in my own shit. And Narcotics Anonymous helped me with that. You know, guys that would come in and just volunteer and share their experience and their struggles. But the success was something that I cling to. And it just really helped me. You know, it was a life-saving experience, a life-changing experience to hear other guys come in, and to be at this Zoom meeting. What does somebody call it? A Barba Zoom, the Barba Zoom meeting. You know, this is just awesome stuff, man. You know, I'm loving it. You know, I get to see all these different smiles and, you know, I love it. You know, I can't stop smiling. And a lot of people that see me, they say I look like one of those smiling emojis and shit, you know. But it's great, you know, and I love the people that have helped me through this. Um, you know, somebody asked me, you know, are you nervous? And I'm like, no, you know, because I'm up there and I'm just gonna speak my truth. You know, there's one thing. There's a like a motto. I have a personal motto, and that personal motto that I have is: if you've never had the things you want, you have to do the things that you've never done before. And that's how I live life. You know, there are doors that I find challenging, but the only way that I'm going to experience the blessing on those other side on the other side of those things is if I face my fears. You know, the fear of change, the fear of doing things different, the what ifs, you know. But I'll never discover that if I don't step across that 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 plane. And so uh, I'm glad to be here. Uh, it's just awesome experience. I can't wait for the prisons to open up so that I can go back and just go back into the prison system and share the success, share the hope, you know. So I keep the faith. I stay connected, and definitely I'll keep coming back. And I want to thank David V for inviting me. Uh, thank God for opening his door to me, and Robin, I love him like crazy, and I love Narcotics Anonymous, and it's just beautiful seeing all your faces. Awesome people. I love you. Hey, my name's Demetrius, and I'm an addict.